The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid. The information on this podcast is my opinion and some internet research.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Welcome to Star Wars Chatter, hosted by Andrew Vanzark. Now you're listening with power. Hello, welcome to the Star Wars Chatter. I'm Andrew Vanzark, and this is your safe space which goes Star Wars and the music. And now to hype up ourselves a bit more for the upcoming show, Ashoka Tano. Ashoka, you know, I'm really excited for this. When I saw the trailer, I was excited, and there's a lot of theories running here. You know, Star Wars theory says that Ashoka is still not a Jedi. I disagree. You can be a Jedi. You don't have to be part of the temple to be a Jedi. That's what I think. But anyways, let's dive into what the fan theories say. Let's dive into them and see what they all have to say about that, you know. So, you know, the popular fan theories surrounding Ashoka are that, you know, Disney has a good list of Star Wars content in the works for 2023, with brand new shows to new seasons in its current series, you know? So Star Wars fans are in for some treats, you know, from the third season of The Mandalorian to the new show for preschoolers titled Young Jedi's, you know, adventures. We all have good things to show, good things to acquire from that, and there's lots of good things, and the Force will truly be with us this year. You know, one of the new shows will be about a character that has become very popular in the fandom from Star Wars The Clone Wars, you know. She was and is an awesome character, and even in the second season of The Mandalorian briefly came out and debuted there a little bit with the live action, and it was none other than Ashoka Tano. So Ashoka, the live action series will focus on Ashoka herself. We've seen her in Force in the animation of the Tales of the Jedi. I almost forgot the name of it, Tales of the Jedi. We saw a little bit more information on how she was born and all that stuff. So I wonder, where does this Ashoka show lie? Does it lie after Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, where they are at the story, or is it something in between? You know, that's what I'm hoping. Something in between to get more information out of Ashoka. Alright, so Ashoka Tano's theories. You know, so the plot will be theorizing what it is to come from the show and Ashoka's character, you know. So the Ashoka live action series will focus on Ashoka herself and her journey to find Grand Admiral Thrawn. You know, and we did have a lot of information. We can have it as the information that Tales of the Jedi gave us with Ashoka, from her birth to anything like that. And the show will be set after the fall of the Empire. You know, fans are already weighing the odds as to what the full plot will be, and theorizing what it is to come for the show and Ahsoka's character, you know. They have high hopes for this show, and I also have high hopes for the show, but Disney will be sure to deliver. But how will they go about it? I don't know. So here are a few of the most popular theories circling the series and Ahsoka. So the return of Anakin Skywalker. There's a big return from Anakin Skywalker, you know. So it's confirmed that Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker in the Ahsoka series. Fans are speculating, theorizing about what Anakin's purpose will be. Many believe that he will return as a Force ghost. Yeah. So, A World Between Worlds, the logo from the Ahsoka series does have a little bit of the A World Between Worlds kind of flow. So it might be a hint that there might be a World Between Worlds kind of resemblance or scenes about that. So we don't know, and that could be a thing, you know. So, yeah. So, will Barriss get redemption? That's a good question. You know, we did see Barriss Offee floating around the minds of fans and stuff like that. So she used to be a friend of Ahsoka until she turned traitor and bombed the Jedi Temple. And Barriss Offee's bombing the Jedi Temple, had Ahsoka blamed for the incident, and that's how she gets kicked out of the Jedi Temple. And when I'm like, but wait, come on. Why would you blame her when clearly Varys Offee did it? It's a thing that we'll never understand. We'll never understand. So, Ahsoka, how Ahsoka Tano's staff could be the key for this, you know? So, after 7 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars and 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka Tano finally made her live-action debut in The Mandalorian, as she fought alongside The Mandalorian. Ahsoka rekindled the biggest unsolved mystery of Rebels in New Republic era. Ahsoka interrogated Elsbeth for the whereabouts of Grand Admiral Thrawn, making the first live-action mention of the antagonist. Years prior, Thrawn vanished alongside Jedi Ezra Bridger during the Battle of Lothal. The two were transported to an unknown location via Perc hyperspace travel, thus leaving no hints or evidence about their location. Both of them, an Empire militant and a Jedi Padawan, seemingly vanished into thin air. So nevertheless, the Rebels epilogue showed Ahsoka and Mandalorian Sabin Wren returning or reuniting, better said, to continue their search. So the scenes doesn't provide many details, to say the least, but it does confirm that the former Ghost crew reconvences to find Ezra. So a popular fan theory suggests that Ahsoka's new outfit, namely her staff, will be key to finding the lost Jedi in Season 1 of Ahsoka. So I don't know if this is going to be a one-time thing of Ahsoka, or if it's going to be a season through season kind of thing. We'll have to find out with that. So Ahsoka Tano and Gandalf the Grey, you know. The people are like, connecting this to like Lord of the Rings in a way, and I'm like, why they're connecting this to fucking Lord of the Rings? You know, Dave Filoni, and the Star Wars writer, director, producer, and showrunner, famously drawn inspiration from J.J.R. Tolkien's, the Lord of the Rings. When Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars, Filoni often shared fan-created or conceptual art that tied the show to Tolkien's story. Additionally, he connects the character to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, not to each other, but to their literal archetype. His frequent allusion to the series suggests that core elements of Tolkien's stories, techniques, and characters development greatly influenced Star Wars. So using this information, Ahsoka, transformed in the Rebels epilogue scene, takes on a whole new meaning in Ahsoka's first cinematic appearance. She is dressed in warm red hues, and the clothing style evolved as she grew older. But it's stated within the initial color plate, as the series and Ahsoka's characters grew darker, her wardrobe took a colder tone. From Season 7 of Clone Wars to the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka is adorned with blue grays and black hues. This makes her appearance in bright white all the more striking. And her lightsabers are not even a concrete color. They are white, white. So there's a lot to encompass that. No, there's no such thing as gray Jedis. Oh, come on, please. There is such a thing as gray Jedis, for sure. So Seb, Aurelius, and Lasat mythology, So this wouldn't be the first time the staff guided or protected someone in the Star Wars universe. So Seb Aurelius, a member of the Ghost crew, was led by his bow rifle turned staff in Season 2. So Episode 14 of Star Wars Rebels, Lands of the Lasat. After finding 2 Lasat elders by pure chance, Seb and his newfound kin attempted to fulfill an ancient prophecy, It allegedly revealed an intergalactic path to the mythic planet Lyra Sun, a rumored saved heaven for surviving Lasat. The prophecy required a chosen one, several key features, and importantly, Seb's bow rifle. When Seb's rifle was reassembled in the ancient ways of the last High Guard, it served as a makeshift torch that illuminated a hyperspace path for Chopper to follow. So this proves that many cultures and people imbibed ordinary optics with great purposes. Where Seb's bow rifle was initially a useful weapon, it later served as the saving grace for the last species. Their entire livelihood rested on Seb's shoulders as the prophetic guide. This this mirrors Ashoka at the conclusion of Rebels. Ezra's fate, by extension, the fate of the Jedi culture, rests on Ahsoka's shoulder as she reunites with the Ghost crew. She is the most likely member to guide them on their search. She could wield the Force by herself to locate Ezra, or she could channel it through her staff. So those are things that we have to keep in mind, in order to understand where this might be going with Ahsoka, So they're also connecting this to Luke Skywalker's compass, and I don't know why, but let's find out. So Seb's bow rifle demonstrates the potential greater purpose of ordinary objects, So while the staff could mirror Seb's rifle in that sense, its unique shape points to other possible storylines. The circular shape attached to the top of the staff could mimic Jedi runes. So it could be a nod to the world between worlds, or, and hear me out, in the case of this theory, it could house Luke Skywalker's compass in some shape or form. So, Luke Skywalker's compass was seen briefly in Star Wars The Last Jedi and the Star Wars Battlefront 2 video game. There isn't much in the canon to explain where the compass came from outside of Pablo Hidalgo's Star Wars The Last Jedi's visual dictionary. It says the antiquated Star Wars compass was among the Jedi's relics. So, it hoarded by the emperors during his rule. This compass contains a superlamined lotus stone, does attuning to the mechanisms to hyperspace vectors, the shapes, size, and relationships to the Jedi points to this being used in conjunction with the staff. So, that's a really weird thing to note out. So everything comes together in season 1. So with all this things said and everything being clarified at this point, season 1 will clarify when the series will be set in. And in doing so, it will explain how and why Ahsoka's transformation occurred. Like The Mandalorian, Ahsoka will be set in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. However, and hear me out, this is still ambiguity about when the series and Rebels epilogue take place with respect to the Ahsoka's other cinematic appearances. Dave Filoni teased this possible use of non-chronological storytelling in the same Vanity Fair interview. Quoting here, that's not necessarily chronological. I think the thing that people will most not understand is they want to go in a linear fashion, but as I learned as a kid, nothing in Star Wars really works in a linear fashion. You do episodes, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3. So in the vein of this history, then you look at the epilogue of Rebels, you don't really know how much time has passed. So, it's possible that the story I'm telling in The Mandalorian actually takes place prior to that. So possible. I'm saying it's possible, So this means that Ahsoka reunited with Sabine before joining Luke at this new Jedi temple. Did Ahsoka gain information on Thrawn in The Mandalorian and passed it along, opting to search for Ezra later? In the Book of Boba Fett, did Ahsoka only have the compass and not the staff? Even prior to the release of Ahsoka, the story of the Padawan turned rebel hero remains one of the most perplexing in the Star Wars canon for sure. And those are questions that we're always asking ourselves. We're always having ourselves running with a lot of things that we don't really know. You know, there's a theory that Ahsoka might be building up her new Jedi temple, but I don't think that might be her case of her proving. Why would she build a new Jedi temple if we've seen clearly when she left the Jedi temple because of the bombing that happened and she got blamed for it? She started to say, I don't need Jedi temple, I don't need this and that in order to be okay with things, in order to do things as they supposedly have to be done. I don't believe in that. I won't believe in that. And she is okay with not doing anything related to a Jedi temple. So you ask me again, why? Why would Ahsoka build another Jedi temple? That makes no sense for me. And I think it's the thing that we should not be talking about in this point in time. You know, I don't like the idea of a Jedi temple again. Sure, Luke Skywalker built another one. He did, failed, because Ben Solo could not keep up with things. So that's a thing that we all have to acknowledge, that it did happen in the sequel trilogy, or in the transition to the sequel trilogy. So we can't deny none of that. So now that we're still talking about Ahsoka Tano, why don't we dive in a little bit into the history, the canon history of Ahsoka Tano. So Ahsoka Tano was a Force-sensitive Togruta female from Jedi Padawan. After the Clone Wars helped establish a network of various rebel cells against the Galactic Empire. So Tano was discovered on her home world of Shili by Jedi Master Plo Koon, who brought her to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to receive Jedi training. Following the outbreak of the Clone Wars, Jedi Grandmaster Yoda assigned the young Tano to be the Padawan learner of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, who nicknamed her Snips. When she joined him at the Battle of Christophsis, whereas Tano was eager to prove herself, Skywalker had a reputation of recklessness, and they had a rather difficult start as master and apprentice. Yet, they worked together to rescue Rhoda, the son of crime lord Jabba the Sijik Tire, and returned Rhoda to his father, thus facilitating a crucial alliance between the Hutt clan and the Galactic Republic. You know, so as the commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, Tano found a mentor in clone Captain Rex of the 501st Legion, you know, with whom she and the Skywalker collaborated to lead frontline campaigns against Confederacy of Independent Systems. So in her first command position of the Battle of Ryloth, Tano disobeyed her orders and lost her entire squadron of pilots, but she rebounded and helped rescue a victory at Ryloth. Her assignments pitted her against her variety of opponents, from General Grievous and Sith apprentice Asa Ventress to bounty hunters such as Cad Bane and Aura Singhs. So over time, she matured into a respected leader, contributing to the key Republic victories like the Second Battle of Geonosis and the Battle of Mon Cala. So she died during a series of events on Mortis, but the daughter, a Force wielder who personified the light side, sacrificed herself to bring Tano back to life. So Tano gained much experience on the Beyond the War front, leading a group of Jedi younglings to revolt against their Trandoshan captors, helping rescue a colony of Togrutas from enslavement by the Sigerian slave empire, and serving as an adversary, hear me out, adversary to the Onderon rebels. Okay? You follow me until here, right? You follow me, okay? So we were close friends, Lux Bontre among them, as they liberated their world from the Confederacy. So in a stark turn of events, Tano was framed from the bombing of the Jedi Temple hangar and the other homicides that happen around those places, and she escaped into the coarse-skinned underworld to unclear her name, which I don't think she did, but it is what it is, you know. So, though she formed an unlikely alliance with Asaventres, she was detained by the Republic forces and consequently barred from the Jedi Order. Ultimately, Skywalker uncovered the true culprit, Tano's friend and fellow Padawan Barriss Offee, and prevented his former apprentice from being convicted of sedition. Nevertheless, the ordeal dislodged Tano's faith, and in the Jedi, she refused the Jedi High Council's offers to rejoin the Order. So instead of departing in search of a new Mandalore and faced Maul and all that, and the path to becoming Force-sensitive, outcast, and all that, through Order 66, we enacted shortly after the Sith Lord captured the Tano. After freeing Rex from the control of Order 66, the two of them escaping the rest of their 501st Division, faking her death, she was forced into hiding. Hence why in Tales of the Jedi, we see her hiding when she's looking at the funeral of Padme, you know. That's why she's not shown there around those areas, because she is supposedly dead. So Tano joined Senator Bail Organa growing rebel movement. She became the manager of his intelligence network and adapted the codename Fulcrum. As Fulcrum, Tano provided intelligence to various rebel factions, including Hera Syndulla's Spectre rebel cells. Tano took a particular interest in Syndulla's rebels because one of their members, a Jedi named Kanan Jarrus, had begun to train his own Padawan, Ezra Bridger, to say the least. He was the one and only. So, in addition to this, you know, Tano's efforts against the Empire brought her into contact with the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, who, unknown to her, was actually her former master, Anakin Skywalker, as well as the Imperial Inquisitor, known as the Fifth Brother, and the Seventh Sister. But it also gave her the chance to reunite with Rex, her favorite captain, you know, following the missions to Mandalore. To Malenkor. My bad. Following the stuff to Malenkor. Tano became lost to the rubble and shadows of the Sith Temple, and was believed by many, including Jarrus and Bridger, to have perished during a duel with Darth Vader. However, Tano was unexpectedly saved from Vader's wrath by a future Ezra Bridger, who pulled her through a portal into the world between worlds. A mythical place of the Force connecting all time and space after a confrontation with Darth Sidious, who desired access to the dimensions. Tano returned to her time, promising Bridger that she would find him once she returned, after the end of the Galactic Civil War. So Tano returned to freed Lothal and joined Sabine Wren in her quest to find a missing Bridger, who had disappeared during the liberation of a location of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And the liberation Loth, Tano later returned to the journey in city in Calodan on the forest planet Corvus, looking for the information of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who will have disappeared alongside Bridger from Magistrate Morgan Elsbeth. You know, needing to rescue the city from Elspeth's rule, she allied herself with the Mandalorian Din Djarin, who had been on a quest to bring the Force-sensitive youngling Grogu to the Jedi's. After freeing Calodan, Tano refused to train Grogu and directed Djarin to the planet Tythoth. Instead, she later visited Luke Skywalker as his new Jedi temple, and when the Skywalker found Grogu in his care, following and a summons from the Seeing Stones, oversaw his training of the child temporarily. So, decades after that, Tano began her search of her voice and joined a multitude of Jedi spirits to guide the young Jedi and Rey during a final battle of the First Order Resistance War. Ashoka inspired Rey to stand up to a resurrected and rescued Darth Sidious and destroyed him once and for all. So these are things that we have to remember of Ahsoka. This is basically what Ahsoka Tano has been through, you know, and Ahsoka Tano has gone through a lot of things that we have to keep in mind in August when we're watching that new Ahsoka series. You know, she went through a lot of trouble. You know, she is. To say the least, a really complex character, you know. She's not a Jedi, nor a Sith. But what is she? Oh, we can't say that word, because that is Legends. No. That is a no-no. George Lucas said no, there's no such thing as that. And I'm like, but come on. We do need to say it. Dude, we can't just leave that to be canon. I mean, non-canon. It can't be non-canon. Come on. She is a Grey Jedi, because you tell me. You tell me. If a Sith says that power is a lie, there is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall set me free. That's what a dark Sith code and the Sith believes in, you know? And then the Jedi code says there's no emotion, there's only peace. There's no ignorance, there is knowledge. There's no passion, there is serenity. There's no chaos, there is harmony. There's no death, there is the Force. Right? If we have those two things in mind, there are clearly characters that are clearly Sith, other than just knowing that they were named Sith. But you can clearly say, no, they are, because they follow this code. You can clearly, without even saying that they're Jedi, clearly know which ones are Jedi just because they follow this code. But then, Ahsoka does none or the other. She does a little bit of both. So what does the Grey Jedi Code say? There is no dark nor light side. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. There is no good without evil. But evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet peace. There is serenity, yet emotions. There is chaos, yet order. So that being said, wouldn't Ahsoka fall in the gray side of things? I think she does. But George Lucas says, no, Grey Jedis do not exist. Only in Legends. Only in non-canon stuff. Come on. This is not a thing, you know. I hope, and I really do hope that the Ahsoka series will bring us the Grey Jedi term to canon at some shape or form. Because it honestly frustrates me that Grey Jedis are not considered canon. You know, that's a really sad thing, that Ahsoka cannot be named a Grey Jedi just because Grey Jedi is not a canon thing. It really frustrates me, it really makes me sad, and those are things that we have to keep in mind, you know, to understand Ahsoka Tano and Ahsoka in many shapes and forms, you know. Ahsoka for me will always be the best and the best and the best and the best and the best of the female characters. Sure, there's Princess Leia Organa. Sure, there is Rey and yada 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 yada. But no one compares to what Ahsoka Tano can do. No one. At all. None whatsoever. So anyways, that was all I had for Ahsoka Tano right now. In this episode of the Star Wars Chatter. I'm Under Ashoka, this is your safe space for Star Wars and the music. And now, for those of you listening in AMP, we're gonna listen to a little bit of music for like 10-20 minutes, and then from there, move on. But for those of you listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, doesn't matter where, you're missing out the fun. You're missing out the fun. So let's get it running, let's get it going, and let's get it flowing. Roll that outro, and may the force be with you, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios, amigos.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
This was Star Wars Chatter, your safe space who's got Star Wars, music, video games, and other geeky topics. Listen on AMP, the Amazon Radio app, and get yourself started by listening to my music on every major music platform under Andrew Van Lark. But if you want to have more information, go to my website, www.andrewvanzart.com, where you can find all my social medias, music, and everything else all in one page.
Trust in the Force, no lights beating, and buckle up. Now you're listening with power. Power to the music, and may the Force be with you.